Hi everyone, I'm Tom. Thanks for jumping on a demo today. We're going to cover the Arlo training management system. We're going to look at what we currently do for our customers, what can we potentially do for you, and how do we go about doing that. So let's crack into it. So what is Arlo? Arlo is an end-to-end solution for training providers. And it doesn't matter if you're doing commercial training, public training, or even private training. We are all about solving these issues that you can see on screen right now. We are a productivity tool for training providers. So a lot of our customers will come to us with, they're running manual spreadsheets, duplicate data. There's lots of manual touch points and things aren't as easy as they potentially should or could be. And that really is the first part of our value proposition, is to streamline your operation as much as we possibly can. So think about instructions, reminders, follow-ups, surveys, invoicing, payments, all of that stuff. All of that sort of boring grunt work that you have to do when you run a training program, we take care of for you and we will automate for you. This makes your life so much easier. The other part of the value proposition is to help you grow. The key message here is about scalability. Now, we do have features in the platform like leads, for example, to help you grow your registration volume. But actually, the main question here is what happens, or what does it look like for you if you increase your scale by 10, 20, 30% next year, 50%, let's go crazy. What does that look like for you? So is that another hire? Is that, adding to the team, or is that, more hours of admin? Is it 10, is it 20? How many hours is that going to cost you? With Arlo, our tool's built to be infinitely scalable. So now none of those concerns are actually yours. You can run them all through Arlo. So that is the main value proposition of our platform, to streamline, grow, and transform your training operation. Now, a little bit about us as a company. So we are a global company. We operate, our customers operate all over the world, and we have offices in Vancouver, London, and New Zealand. Now, with a global company comes a global platform. We are hosted all over the world with AWS, and we support the integration with SAML, allowing you to actually access your platform securely from anywhere in the world. Integrations are a key part of what we do at Arlo, and we have a whole host of what we call native apps that we build integrations with. We have a little ecosystem here, Xero, Salesforce, WordPress. We've also pushed out new integrations with middleware such as Zapier and Make. Those applications have thousands and thousands of other integrations on their libraries, allowing our customers really to have unparalleled connectivity. And Arlo is the central hub. And you can now feed all these platforms into Arlo, and we will act as that main point in your infrastructure around your training program. Now, the Arlo platform itself is broken down into two main components. You've got the front end and the back end. Now, the front end is all about the website and the online registration, and we're going to cover that first. So there's two main ways to have a web presence at Arlo. You can use the Outerbox website, or you can integrate with your own one. Now, we'll start with the most popular, integrating with your own website. So you've got your own website, really pretty website, and you want to run training through it. So what you do here is you would actually plug us in directly into your website. So maybe things are in the back end of your site are done manually, or they're updated by the web team. When you plug Arlo directly into your site, now all that data is actually being dynamically served from our platform. So things like capacity, time and date, location, time zone, delivery mechanism, price, discounts, all those things that you might be plugging in manually actually come directly from Arlo. And because in the background, Arlo has a list of all your courses that your training team are interfacing with, this information will be coming directly from the training team and will update your website in real time. So no longer do your training team have to go via third parties or maybe via your web team. There's maybe a bit of lag in that process. They can do it directly themselves, and the integration will update the website immediately. Now, there's a few more examples here. This is just to say that the look and feel is actually completely up to you. It's your website. Our technology is really flexible and lets you actually customize the look and feel. The more important piece is the data here. So what data is coming across? Well, it's the data that you've put into Arlo, and that's coming from your training team. Now, it doesn't matter what CMS you use. Our technology is really flexible. It can integrate with any website, and it's actually all available for free online. Your developers can go away and take it, connect it up to your Arlo platform, and we don't even have to be involved in that process. Now, the other option is using the Outerbox website. So this is as I say, out-of-the-box free website that we give to all of our customers that is made available to them. And it is a really good starting place if you don't have a website or your website is under construction or you actually wish to keep things a bit separate from your main website. Now, again, the idea is very much the same as the other examples we went through. We've got a front-end presence for our training courses, whether it be an upcoming list, whether it be in a catalog. But you can design this website to look and feel like your own. You can add your own logo, fonts, and colors. The only difference is it's hosted by us. Now, why would you want a web presence? Why is it important to have your courses online? Well, the reason being is so that you can actually run and take registrations online. Before we move on to this process, really key feature you can see here that I want to call out. One of my favorites is the waiting list functionality. So if you have a full course, Arlo will actually start to generate a waiting list for you. Now, if someone drops out of the full course, on the waiting list, Arlo will automatically approach people on that list to say, hey, Tom, there's a spot free. Do you want to take it? And I can say, yes, thanks very much. So you haven't lost out on that revenue. And B, you haven't had to do that manually. So if you were doing that process manually, maybe it's a couple of spreadsheets, maybe there's a bit of work involved in actually managing that waiting list if you're running multiple courses. It's just one feature in Arlo, turn it on, and you're good to go. Now, we can see the other options for registration here. We're going to pick the one in the middle, and we can go through to the registration form. This is where you're capturing information about the delegate. So we can register multiple people for multiple courses at the same time. When we've done that, we can go through to our payment page. Then we can choose if we wish to be billed as an individual or an organization. And we can put in our billing details. Then we can decide actually how we wish to pay. Is it by invoice? Is it by credit card? Are there any discounts that we have? We can support manual or automated discounts. And we can choose if we wish to pay in full or pay a deposit. Now, if you do want to use credit cards or pay by cards online, you would have to integrate one of the providers on screen. We find Stripe and Wingcave are particularly popular in the UK, which is where I'm based. But other gateways are supported for other regions as well, as you can see here. Now we go through and set terms and conditions, and we're good to go. This next piece actually is a Stripe integration. We can then scroll down to the bottom and actually put in our card details, and we're good to go. Now we go on a confirmation screen. And then what would happen in the background, the delegates would get a welcome email, and the order contact would get the receipt if they pay by card, or they get an invoice if they've raised an invoice. Now, there are a lot of other things you can do on the registration page. We can run multi-session courses, like you can see here. And these sessions can be paid or free. And we can also have a really customizable registration form. You can capture whatever information about your delegates that you wish up front. And that's actually customizable course by course. You can make the checkout page look like the rest of your website, very much like you can with the website technology that we run. Now, it's not all about public courses. We can also run private courses through Arlo. The only difference here is that you've got a private link that gives you access to this. It's not visible on the website by default. And we can also run free courses through Arlo. Very much like this webinar, you can just run free courses, free webinars, and it's just a one-page registration form. Now, another feature I want to call out here is the customer portal. Now, the customer portal is really about self-service. Delegates can log in here and they can manage things. They can look at their training, they can cancel, they can transfer, they can generate certificates, they can pay a bill, they can find the Zoom link. Everything that maybe your training team has to manually communicate doesn't take very long, but it does take up time. Delegates can log in here and actually manage their own registrations with you. So a really helpful feature there. Now, jumping into the back end here, this is the management console of the platform. So this is where you've got a snapshot of everything that's happening across your training platform. Jumping into a course itself, we can see all the logistics around a course, when it's been run, who's running it, the price of the course, if it has one, it might be free, and who signed up for the course, and all the key information around the course itself. We've got access to the management toolbar at the top. We can add things like a note. We can add things like a to-do list, and those can be automated as well. So you can set up a list of things that you need to do, and those will be automatically added every time you run the course. We can generate things like name labels and certificates. They use mail merge. So what happens is you upload your template into Arlo, and we will dynamically add or serve whatever information you've put on those fields across. So instead of doing all the certificates manually, you can actually create them in bulk. You've got access to email shortcuts and a bunch of other items there, so reports and documentation. Now, if we jump onto edit, which is also on the management toolbar, we can actually edit some of the key pieces of this course. We're going to move this course today in advance. Let's say we had a last minute schedule change. Now, any change you make to Arlo is going to prompt some notification here. Now, we can decide who should receive this notification. We're going to say everyone. We can see here now, if you go save, jump into the communication tab, you can see that not only have we got all the emails from previous communication, so welcome, if there's been a venue cancellation, if there's been an order and an invoice received, now we've actually got event change notification, which we've just set up. So you can see here, the old information is crossed out in red and the new information is there in bold, and we've got an updated calendar appointment to override the last one we received. Now, scheduling a new course is actually just as easy. The record here, I think, is about 10 or 12 seconds to schedule it using this method, but I'm going to take you through some of them, the key pieces you can change if you wish. The main idea is that you have everything templated, so it's really easy to start rescheduling courses. But if we wanted to, we could jump in and then change it from add a venue course to a live online. We have a really tight integration with Zoom, but a lot of our customers are using Microsoft Teams and GoToWebinar as well. You can run it as a basic course, or you can run a multi-session course. Multi-session is essentially letting you run little courses within a parent course, if you like. Now, these sessions can actually be priced independently. They can have different times. They can actually be run in a different delivery method if you want them to as well. So really flexible engine there. Now, jumping back on the schedule page, we can actually make some resourcing decisions here too. So we need to add a presenter. Jeremy actually, unfortunately, isn't available to run our training today. So we're going to actually search for someone else. Now we can jump into the presenter scheduler here. We can see who's available and who isn't. And we can actually tag them with particular facets to help us search through them faster as well. Then we can make a reasonable decision on who we actually want to run the course now. Put them in and we're all good to go. Now, speaking of presenters, we do also have a mobile app, and we're adding some key logistics information here. This will actually feed through into the mobile app that's just popped up on the screen. Now, the mobile app is completely free to use. You can have as many people on the mobile app as you like. And what it does is it acts as a conduit for information for your presenters, so they can see what's upcoming, who they're training, is it online, is it at a venue, have they trained them before? And you can have as many presenters on there, and it is, as I say, free. Now, what that means is that you don't actually have to manually communicate with your presenters at all. Everything they need is actually on the mobile app right in front of them. Jumping onto the registration page here, this is where we have some more advanced functionality that comes through. So we won't dwell too much on this, but I will cover some high-level features here. We had the idea of being able to open and close training early. We also let you run registration rules. These are things where you can actually decide who is accepted on a training and who isn't. Is there an automated rule? Maybe it's staff only. Maybe you need to have done level 1 before you can do level 2. Things like that. There's also the idea of capacity as well on the platform. So we can see here, minimum, maximum registration limits, and then we can actually set an alert for when those are or are not met. We also have an integration with SurveyMonkey. This is actually links back to the mobile app. In the mobile app, you can mark people as attended or not attended. Now, attendance is really important in Arlo. Some of our integrations will mark it automatically, but you can always use the mobile app to do it if you wish. And that can actually trigger other things. In this example, we're actually sending a SurveyMonkey out to everyone who's marked as attended. Now, in the mobile app, you can do other things. You can pass a comment, mark a grade, and also put a pass and fail as well if you wish. And that will feed all back into the main console. And finally, we go on to the communication tab. This is where you're activating, deactivating certain emails that Arlo will send automatically for you. You can add attachments to the documentation. You can edit what the emails say. You can see here. And then you can turn on reminders if you wish and say when do you want the reminders to go out. And then we actually have a follow-up email as well. And you can edit what this says and so on, and actually delay the sending of it if you wish. Finally, we've got actually an automated certificates engine. So instead of you manually triggering certificates, you can tell Arlo to automatically send them every time X criteria is met, and it will send them in perpetuity for you, completely hands-free. Save that course, and we're all good to go. Now, it's not all about public courses. You actually can run private courses in Arlo too. You're still using all the great pieces of functionality that we offer in terms of automation. The only difference here is that you're pricing per course, not per delegate, and you actually assign it to an individual account or point of contact, as you can see here. And that really is a key difference, but you are using all the same pieces of functionality across the platform to run your private courses as well. Now approve that course, and then again, easy as that. So another key thing about the private course engine that makes it really easy to use is it actually streamlines the invoicing process for you. Because you've given Arlo all the information up front, you can actually then straight away create an invoice, and you can add your own custom items to that invoice if need be, as you can see here. Save that invoice, and that will be sent out. Very much like the communication schedule in the courses page, orders also have their own communication window where we can keep track of any emails that have been sent, who we sent them to, when they were sent, and what attachments did they have. Now, we do have a larger orders engine in the platform. This is to keep track of any financial records that are coming through the system. So card payments, invoices, bank transfers, and so on. What a lot of our customers will do will simply export this information and reconcile it in their accounting engine and then update Arlo later. If you're using the Xero integration, this is actually done automatically for you. And at any stage, it's really easy to get information out of Arlo. You can just export the orders here. It's easy as that. So your billing team doesn't have to hunt around, or you'd have to hunt around for the report. It's really easy right there in front of you. Now, jumping into the UI here, once you know your way around one page, you can actually get around them all pretty easily. We've designed the UI to be repeatable, and you can actually, all the pages sort of work the same. We've got a drop down here, we've got a simple search, and we've got the big KPIs there at the top. Now, at any point, you can then jump into the reporting engine to get a little bit more detail if you wanted to. The reporting engine in Arlo is actually really powerful and really quite flexible. You can have any and all conditions, as you can see here. And actually that bar down the bottom here is actually a search bar. So instead of having to remember the field that you need, you can just type it in, and Arlo will automatically select it for you. And you can click and drag the columns to design the report in any way you see fit. You can preview the results here, and then you can export it if need be. Now, you can save the report as a favorite, and you can even schedule the report as well to be sent out every Monday or whenever you like, actually, and secure it with a password if you want. So jumping to the CRM of Arlo now. So there is a CRM that sits in the background of Arlo, and this is a really good area to keep track of your delegates and your organizations that you deal with. So it'll actually keep a record of all training records that come through Arlo. So we look at Felicity here. We can see all of Felicity's registrations, what she's done with us, when she did it, did she pass, did she fail, what are the status of all those courses. We can jump into a personal profile, make some edits, see any other information we have, and review her marketing consent as well, and things like that. We do have an integration with Salesforce if you want to take your CRM experience to the next level. And if you are using Salesforce already, you can just plug Arlo directly into it. And we can actually then look at accounts and organizations as well. So we jump into this organization. We can see we've got global notes here if anyone's been dealing with them across the platform. We can then jump into their head office, and we can see the head office actually has multiple branches within it. And we can actually see we've got some courses against this head office too. Again, like the rest of the UI, you have access to the management tool at the top. You can add notes and tasks and documents, and you can store that all here as you would expect from a CRM. Now, jumping into e-learning. So at the moment, we've covered webinars, we've covered instructor-led, we've covered face-to-face. We haven't really touched on e-learning or blended learning yet. So you can run those through Arlo too. And what really happens here is we will act as a front end for this process and give you the option to offer your customers different study options, as you can see here. So you can load a course as instructor-led over a webinar in a venue, or you can run it as an e-learning course. Now, what will happen is that in the background, you can use Arlo for the e-commerce system, take advantage of all our automation that we give you. But in the background, actually, you'll plug us into an LMS. And what will happen is we will automatically enroll that person into the LMS. I've just bumped my microphone. Hope that sounds okay. We will move those students into the LMS. In this example, we're using Moodle, but there are lots of other LMSs you can connect to out there. So that's it for the demonstration. So at a high level, Arlo is a productivity tool for training providers to help you streamline, grow, and transform your training business. Now, just before we end today, I just want to take you through a couple of next steps and actions. Big believer in setting next steps after demonstration. And so please jump over to arlo.co and you can actually read a little bit more about what we do. We've got a whole list of features here. You can see a whole list of our apps and integrations and our libraries. And you can see, hey, other systems that I use on here, and you can see how we connect with them. Our pricing is also on our website here. We're completely transparent about our pricing. You can see, what currency you want to see it in, monthly or annual subscriptions. You can have a bit of a play about our license fees and see how they compare with either what you're paying now, your current supplier, or maybe, what the budget is. But everything here is super transparent. We don't hide any pricing here at Arlo. We do find in the marketplace that we are extremely good value for the size and breadth of platform that we offer. You can also see customer testimonials, and there's some extra resources on our website here. Really recommend you check over the Arlo TV because there's some videos there to cover some of the stuff that we've talked about today. Now, the final call to action is to start a free trial. So jump on over here, start a trial, and our lovely sales team will reach out to you. And we would like to hear more about how we can help you. What are some of the issues you're facing? And, is there room, Arlo, in there to help you transform your training operation? So thanks very much for your time. Please do have a great rest of your day. Thank you very much.